Would all guests and graduates please rise for the singing of the national anthem as led by Marcia Manel Tucker, class of 2011.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. Please remain standing. It's my pleasure to welcome Alexander Levering-Kern, the Executive Director of the Center for Spirituality, Dialogue, and Service, to the podium to offer the invocation.
Good afternoon, Northeastern family. We gather today as people of many global faiths and secular traditions of conscience. Before I offer our vocal prayer, please join me in a moment of silence so that each of us may reflect in our own way upon the year just past and the magnificent sweetness of this day. The ancient scriptures remind us, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Holy One, you have carried us through seasons of trial and trouble and gathered us here for this brief, blessed time. Soon you will send us forth in joy. We thank you for these, our beloved graduates, for the radiant light that illumines their lives. May they apply their knowledge and power to fashion a world of justice, healing, and peace. We thank you also for our faculty and staff who have kindled our graduates' hearts and minds. And we thank you for these parents, these families, these friends, these spouses and partners whose love and support and sacrifice have made all things possible. Help us, God, to embody truth and hope in all we do. And in all things, we ask that you bless us and keep us and make your face to shine upon us from this day on and forevermore. Amen.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Madigan, Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, and I am absolutely delighted to welcome you to Northeastern University's 2021 Commencement exercises. Graduates, on behalf of the faculty and staff of Northeastern, I want to extend congratulations to you, the class of 2021. This is truly a special day, a day made particularly meaningful by the challenges we all faced together this past year. You, our graduates, met every one of those challenges with courage, with good humor, and with perseverance. Thank you. To our faculty and staff, by guiding today's graduates to this moment and adapting to new ways of working during the pandemic, you have helped shape and inspire tomorrow's leaders and innovators. And on behalf of the graduates, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you've done this past year. Thank you. To the mothers in the audience, happy Mother's Day. As we officially begin today's ceremony, we are first joined by Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker and Boston's Mayor Kim Janey. Both Governor Baker and Mayor Janey are champions of higher education and of Northeastern, and they would like to offer their congratulations to the class of 2021.
Thanks very much to Dave Madigan for that introduction. And let me just say, first of all, congratulations to all the graduates, and especially to their families and to their friends and to everybody else who had something to do with getting them from where they were to where they are now. And I especially want to congratulate them for working their way through what was a profoundly difficult year because of the pandemic. Virtually everything about what you expected your college experience to be was turned upside down in March of 2020, and it's pretty much stayed that way ever since. I do think the fact that you get to have your ceremony at Fenway Park is actually kind of a cool thing, but I'm sure if you had to trade that for everything else that happened over the course of the last year, you'd probably be perfectly happy to do it back at your dorm. I also want to congratulate President Joseph Ayoun, somebody I've gotten to know over the course of almost the past 10 years here, who's done a terrific job of leading this wonderful institution through this very difficult time. To all of you, I just want to say Northeastern is really a crown jewel in the crown of colleges and universities that makes this Commonwealth so very special. And to all of the graduates today, I hope you find a way to make a great life and find purpose here in the Commonwealth of Mass. But if you don't, I hope you make a great life and find purpose wherever it is your future takes you. Good luck.
Hello, Northeastern. Thank you for including me in this special moment with you and your families today. My father graduated from Northeastern in 1970, so I feel a special connection to all of you. On behalf of the City of Boston, I want to congratulate you all on a job well done. Your perseverance and resilience in completing your co-ops and your coursework under extremely difficult circumstances should be applauded. And I know this wasn't how you thought your last year and a half would go, but your commitment to staying safe helped our city weather the storm. I know that collectively you hail from all 50 states and more than 100 countries, So I also want to say congratulations and thank you to all of your friends and family who are watching right now at home and all over the world. I wish you all the best in the future. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Baker and Mayor Janey. Good afternoon. I'm Rich DeMoore, Chair of Northeastern's Board of Trustees. On behalf of the board, I want to welcome all of you here today to Northeastern's 2021 commencement exercises. To the graduates, a special congratulations. You've earned this day. Before we continue, I wanted to take note. I grew up around Fenway Park, and I know pretty much all the music that's played here. But as I was traveling about earlier, I noticed some unusual organ music, and I had to do some research to figure out what was going on. But fortunately, we got to the bottom of it.
Okay, you've got about 5 minutes before you're scheduled to go on. Your robe's right here. I'll come back and get you when it's time. But in this room, whatever you do, try not to touch anything.
Hey, absolutely. No problem. Ooh. Ready, pause? It's been a while. Let's see if I can still do it. Whoops.
Ooh, that's rough.
Ah, I think I've got it. Here we go.
Hold on.
What's that?
Where's that coming from?
Hang on, guys. I'll be right back.
That's it.
Stacy's mom has got it going on. I love Stacy's mom.
Woo-hoo! Yeah!
No. Huh.
That's not bad.
Hey, how you doing? Can you hit 5, please?
Ah!
Ooh. I don't know who this is, but this guy's great.
Ah, I'm starving.
Excuse me, coming through. So good.
So good.
Not good. Wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
What are you guys doing?
He did it.
Well, it's my honor to introduce the mystery organist, our own president, Joseph Young.
Thank you, Chairman DeMoore. Good afternoon. I have been told that the last group coming to the last graduation ceremony is going to be the loudest and the most energetic. So let's start it one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, yes. Now, seriously, who do you think played the music, Paz or me? Me? Well, I told Paz he's in the doghouse for the rest of the day. So I'll be watching you from there. Graduates, let me say something important right at the start. Class of 2021, you did it. Congratulations. It's wonderful to see all of you here in person today. And I know that some of you are joining us virtually. Rest assured that you are here with us too. We feel your presence and your support on this momentous day. In fact, we have some members of the Northeastern family joining us from across the globe. A special welcome to graduates and their families from India, Venezuela, Nigeria, and many more. The ceremony is a metaphor for the past year at Northeastern. Yes, there are restrictions and limitations, many beyond our control. But we found a way, and that's the Northeastern spirit. We traverse boundaries, we overcome obstacles, we believe that every problem has a solution. I want to thank the entire Northeastern community, especially our new graduates, you, for making this past year successful. Graduates, please rise and turn to your parents, friends, spouses, and partners. Without them, you would not be here today. And a special thank you to all the mothers on this Mother's Day. Let's give them a big round of applause. And graduates, please thank the Northeastern faculty and staff who supported you on every step of your journey. Yes, let's applaud them. And please, now it's your turn. Thank yourselves for persevering, for living through a strange and uncertain time, and for staying true to your dreams. Please be seated. It feels good to be in the sun. Some of you are celebrating multiple achievements today. After 5 years of remarkable effort, those of you in the +1 program have completed both your bachelor's and master's degree. And our doctoral students have reached the culmination of their long academic journey, but not of their learning. For we are all lifelong learners. Many of us have been here at Fenway Park before. How many of you have been at the park before? Raise your hand. Well, how many of you have been on the field before? Wow. Okay, let me tell you something. You're ahead of me. This is only the second time I've actually been on the field. About 10 years ago, I was asked to throw out the first pitch at a Red Sox game. To be honest, I was nervous. I had practiced for a full week, but when I got out here, under all the lights, the pressure was on. I hoped for the best. My pitch made it over the plate. I was in no danger of getting a major league contract. Then something special happened, magical. After my mediocre pitch landed in the catcher's mitt, there was a huge roar of applause from the stands. I realized in that moment the power of Husky pride. Let me be clear, the cheers were not for me. They were for Northeastern and all that your university stands for. So no matter where you go, from Boston to Buenos Aires to Bangkok, the Northeastern family will emerge to cheer you on, sometimes when you least expect it. At most commencement ceremonies, the job of the president is to make bold pronouncements, to use lofty language that inspires, to speak in grandiose terms about the future. But this is not most commencements, and this is no ordinary time. So instead of offering a series of cliches about hopes, dreams, and possibilities, I would like to share a few simple stories. Stories that encapsulate for me the enduring lessons of the past year. Lessons that I will never forget. Here is a vivid memory that I haven't shared before. It was October. The weather was getting cold, and the pandemic was worsening. We were at the leading edge of last year's deadly winter surge. It was a Wednesday, and I was in my office, alone. In fact, the whole building was largely devoid of people. A sense of emptiness was apparent. But then I heard music. A saxophone, keyboards, bass guitar, and drums, and it was fantastic. I assumed that someone down the hall had Spotify cranked up, but no one was around. Then I realized the sounds were coming from outside the building. I was determined to get to the bottom of this musical mystery. So I ventured outside and began searching around the building. I followed the sounds until they led me into an alley behind Columbus Avenue. Sure enough, I discovered a live jazz quartet jamming in a little courtyard beside a picket fence. I've listened to a lot of jazz in my life, and these musicians were captivating. And then, just when I thought this magical moment couldn't get any better, I noticed that the drummer was wearing a Northeastern sweatshirt. "Go Huskies," I said under my breath. I later found out that the drummer's name is Zeke Martin, and he teaches in our music department. That semester, Zeke had found a way to teach his students on drum sets spaced 12 feet apart in Ryder Hall. But he couldn't play in jazz clubs or other live venues. So Zeke and his bandmates began playing that day for a simple reason. This was their passion. And a deadly pandemic wasn't going to stifle their passion or silence their instruments. They didn't realize anyone was listening. I looked up and saw people opening their windows in amazement. An NUPD officer standing nearby gave a thumbs up. What Zeke and his bandmates showed us that day is something we can all remember. The times of greatest challenge demand that we add an extra measure of purpose to our passion. That is when you can make your music possible. And in doing so, you will surely bring joy to others along the way. A college education has always involved passing tests. But your class has to be the most tested in history. Of course, I'm talking about COVID tests. Raise your hand if you took more than 50 tests this year. What about 70? Wow. I'm going to confess something. I loved getting tested at Cabot. Frankly, I didn't think I would. But that space, with its quirky music, beautiful banners, and terrific staff, was truly special. I saw many of you there every week, armed with your swabs, and more importantly, your desire to keep our campus safe, to protect the pack. 2 weeks ago, we surpassed 1 million COVID tests on campus. Wow. Those 1 million tests may seem like mundane acts, but they represent something much more profound. Every time you got tested, you were engaged in both an individual act and a collective promise. This promise often involved sacrifices, limiting your social circles, pausing some of your favorite activities, foregoing visits from family and friends. Managing COVID on campus presented a new social compact. You agreed to take certain steps, and in exchange, you paved the way for a successful, uninterrupted school year. Throughout all these challenges, you had one guiding star, your desire to be together. The lesson is clear. None of us can live our lives in isolation. We all crave the power of human connection. We all are part of the same human family. What we do individually, good or bad, affects our shared journey. Building and nourishing a community requires millions of individual acts that culminate in collective power. This power goes far beyond reopening Northeastern. Exercise it well, and you can open the whole world for all humankind. One of the most consequential events of the year took place many miles from here, and at Northeastern, opportunities to learn and engage can come from anywhere. On May 25th, the tragic murder of George Floyd ignited something powerful in the US and around the world. While walking along the Boston Common a few days later, I experienced firsthand the nonviolent protests that dominated the city that night. I was struck by the sea of faces of every color and background who seized the urgency of that moment. For that second, and actually forgot we were in the midst of a global pandemic. COVID seemed distant in the face of this fierce new urgency. The fight for social justice and racial equality could not wait. And you didn't wait. And that's an important lesson for us all. Historical moments will happen. And when they arrive, we don't wait for other crises to settle down. We take responsibility in the moment for making the world better. In the coming months and years, many of you will take the lead in eradicating systemic racism, and you will be the champions of other causes as well: climate change, economic inequality, food insecurity. You'll create algorithms that reduce implicit bias. You'll bring more diverse voices into fields such as medicine, engineering, health. And yes, your generation will help prevent the next global pandemic. Your job as graduates, as leaders, is to seize these moments when they happen. It doesn't matter what else is already unfolding. When history knocks on your door, answering will be your generation's highest calling. Your opportunity to bend the world and forge a more just society. The heart and soul of a Northeastern education is experience. It is fair to say that your class has had an experience that you could never imagine. It hasn't been easy. You had to adjust to changes in your classes, your research, your co-ops, your social lives. You had to change plans and cancel trips. But there have been moments of grace, moments of joy, moments of connection, moments that came out of nowhere, like the sound of jazz music rising through the air on a cold gray day. A beautiful reminder that we all have the capacity to persevere, and we all have the talent to create. When this crisis fades, and it will, I hope these are some of the memories you carry with you forever. I often say that your Northeastern education prepares you to face the unknown. Your class, perhaps more than any other, is prepared for whatever comes next, for any possible unknown. I wish you the best of luck. Your resilience and your infinite spirit will guide your world to new heights. We are truly in your hands. Graduates, I salute you. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I'm Ken Henderson, Northeastern's Chancellor and Senior Vice President for Learning. At Northeastern, students are at the centre of all that we do, so it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you our student speaker, Mohammed Fitra Pratama Tang from the College of Engineering. Mohammed, who hails from Indonesia, graduates today with a Master of Science of Sustainable Building Systems. He chose this major because he wanted to learn how the 3 Ps, what's called the bottom triple line, that is planet, profit, intersect. While at Northeastern, Mohammed participated in the university's Sustainable Building Organization and is helping to grow a small regional chapter of the Indonesian Institute of Architects. He also served as a speaker on the topic of sustainability at a recent event hosted by the Education Attaché of the Indonesian Embassy. Post-graduation, Mohammed plans to work in the fields of architecture, engineering, and sustainability. Please welcome your student speaker, Mohammed Fitra Pratama Tang.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Wow, Fenway Park. Let's get started. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Subah salam sengon moi moi. Selamat siang. Good afternoon, President Aoun, administrators, faculties, families, friends, and fellow graduates. Congratulations, class of 2021. Honestly, I don't know what the best part to start this speech, and I must also admit that I'm not good at humor, but I will try at this moment. So, my mom gave me a piece of advice that I must use essential oil in my graduation because she did in her graduation. As a 27-year-old man, I am wondering how essential the essential oils are at this essential moment, and maybe it should be called optional oils. Talking about the essentials, I would like to use this chance to share 2 essential quotes that shaped my life since I was in Indonesia until now I finished pursue my biggest dream in the US. But before that, my name is Mohammed. And before I traveled to the US for the first time, some friends warned me about Islamophobia, especially for the people with the name Mohammed. I was so afraid at the time. However, thanks to all members, faculties, and friends at Northeastern University, you made the campus feels like home for me quickly. Since the first day I became a student on the campus, I never experienced any discriminative issue for me as a Muslim. You have also made me believe that America has a place for me too as a minority, and the place is Northeastern University. Many voices, one Northeastern. Dear graduates, the first essential quote comes from Mary Holloway. She said, "Resilience is knowing that you are the only one that has the power and the responsibility to pick yourself up." We are graduating now, but the pandemic is still there, while the uncertain future is still waiting for us. Although we are graduating at an unprecedented moment, we must move forward with our power and responsibility, not only for us, but also for people around who still need support. This pandemic gave us a lesson that change is inevitable, and we have to deal with change. Even we have to embrace it, as acceptance of change makes us more resilient, and resilience makes us stronger and more capable of dealing with life's difficulties. The second quote is, "This too shall pass." The end of this pandemic is still an equation where no one can guarantee the answer. Meanwhile, our life must be continued after this graduation. Remember how flexible and beautiful the world was before this pandemic, and how restricted and limited our life now. That makes us also learn that there are two things define us: our patience when we have nothing, and our attitude when we have everything. This quote also reminds me of the story of a Japanese sword. The sword needs to be hammered and forged repeatedly until it becomes a perfect sword that can cut everything. From this story, I want to encourage you together to look at this pandemic as an opportunity to be a more resilient person and community. Remember that the material of the sword was not randomly selected, but it was chosen. I have been guided by the quotes until today. I have successfully done with one of the biggest dreams in my life. The new chapter of my life, and you are just started. The quotes will always guide me, and I hope you do. From the deepest part of my heart, I would like to say I love you 3,000 to my mom and dad in Indonesia who'll watch this video later. Also, to my mom, I want to say that I used the essential oil. As you said, it is essential. And to my dad, happy birthday. To my biggest sponsor, Indonesia Endowment Fund for Education, or LPDP, thank you very much for your support. Hey, special thanks to Professor Julius Marpaung in the Electrical and Computer Engineering. Thanks for opening the Northeastern gates for me. Horas bah! And in particular, to all beloved Northeastern University faculties, members, and friends, you will always in my heart, and my memories with you will always live on eternity. Once again, congratulations to the class of 2021. I wish you good luck in all your future endeavors, and may you all find what you're looking for in your lives. Remember, we are not strong, but yes, we are stronger. Thank you. Terima kasih. Syukur dafu-dafu sengon moi-moi. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mohammed. Essential advice. Here at Northeastern, we constantly innovate to make the world better. Today, it is my great honor and privilege to introduce one such trailblazer, Dr. Patrick Brown. As an esteemed biochemistry researcher at Stanford University, Dr. Brown pioneered innovations that include using gene expression patterns to classify cancers. But what he may be best known for is in your grocery aisle. The plant-based burgers and meats developed by Impossible Foods, the company he founded, to improve human health and reduce the impact of animal farming on climate change. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Patrick Brown.
Thank you, graduates and families, for letting me share this happy occasion with you. Many of you might be feeling what I felt at my own graduation 45 years ago. Optimistic, excited, and curious about my future, but with no clear idea what I'd be doing in 10 years. Early in my adult life, I meandered into what I thought was the best gig in the world. I was a professor leading a research group at Stanford Medical School, and my only job was to follow my curiosity wherever it might lead, make inventions and discoveries, and help my students do the same. As a scientist, I was constantly looking around for new mysteries and new areas to explore, so that time and again, I was back to being a beginner, an outsider, in a new field and tackling a new problem I didn't know how to solve. A naive outsider could look at a subject with fresh eyes, unbiased by the prevailing assumptions, and see things that an expert ignores. Stanford really was a dream job, and I was having a blast. But I couldn't help being aware and concerned that our planet, the only planet in the entire universe known to support life, was facing two equally dire threats: a relentless increase in heat-trapping greenhouse gases and a catastrophic collapse of global biodiversity. I guess I subconsciously assumed that somebody else, some benevolent entity more qualified than me, was responsible for saving us from all these disasters. Our government, maybe, the UN, NGOs, Santa Claus, who knows? I could do my small part, but this enormous planetary scale problem was surely not my problem to solve. After all, I'm not a climate scientist or an ecologist, and I don't get to write laws or treaties. Then about 12 years ago, it finally dawned on me that actually nobody else out there was solving these problems. There is no global climate czar or benevolent protector to save us from these disasters. I'm even starting to have my doubts about Santa Claus. Our society and our planet are facing many difficult problems, and we all need to recognize that nobody owns the job of solving them any more than you do. What can we do about it? Start by recognizing that the real problem is actually not that people love the foods that we make using animals. It's that we still use animals as our technology to make them. I was pretty sure that with a scientific approach, we could understand the biochemistry that underlies the flavors and textures and other valued properties well enough to create meat, fish, and dairy foods from sustainable plant ingredients that are more delicious, nutritious, and affordable than anything today's animal-based technology can make. If we could do that, then just by competing in the marketplace, we could make the animal-based food system obsolete. There was one little problem, though. By any reasonable standard, I was unqualified to take this on. I had never had any interest in the business world, very little interest in food, and knew next to nothing about either. But I had the great advantage of being a beginner and an outsider. So I walked away from a secure job that I loved to try something that reasonable people were sure would end in disappointment and failure. A project I didn't know how to do, and a problem I didn't know how to solve. But it might succeed, and if I didn't try, I would fail by forfeit. The worst thing you can do is to look for reasons not to try. Just do the experiment. So I did. I founded a company called Impossible Foods with a singular, insanely ambitious mission to turn back the clock on climate change and reverse the collapse of biodiversity by completely replacing the use of animals in the global food system by 2035. I've since been joined on this mission by hundreds of brilliant colleagues. We don't have a roadmap, and we know we'll encounter many disappointments and failures on the way to our goal, but we blast ahead. 45 years after my own graduation, I'm as optimistic and excited and curious about what the future holds as I was then, and I'm still just a beginner. You are about to inherit the best planet in the universe. Please take better care of it than my generation has. It's not somebody else's job, it's your opportunity. And now, congratulations, you've done it, you've graduated. Your future is waiting for you. Make it count.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Members of the class of 2021, the moment you have been waiting for all afternoon and working towards through years of study is now here. The degrees in course will now be conferred. Mr. President, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates assembled here have qualified in all respects for the degrees in course. They have successfully completed curricula offered by the several schools and colleges of Northeastern University and have been recommended by the faculty and the Council of Deans to be awarded appropriate degrees in recognition of their academic accomplishments. The candidates will be presented to you by the academic deans. After they have been presented, members of the graduating class joining us here today in Boston, across our global campuses and from around the world, in each school or college, will please remain standing until their degrees have been conferred. I would first like to invite Sarah Wadia Fassetti, Vice Provost for the PhD Network, to come forward.
The Doctor of Philosophy is the highest academic degree awarded by Northeastern University. This degree offers proof for serious scholarship and the creation of new knowledge. In its ancient Greek form, the term philosophy refers to the love of wisdom. And through this wisdom, our graduates and their insatiable curiosity will make great impact to society. My heartiest congratulations to you, our new doctors and your families. Will the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy in all colleges please rise? Mr. President, I am pleased to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
I would like to invite Gregory Abaud, Dean of the College of Engineering, to come forward.
Will the candidates for the Master of Science in the College of Engineering please proudly rise so that we may recognize you? Mr. President, I'm very pleased to be able to present to you the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Master of Science or Master of Science with specifications. Congratulations.
I would like to invite Carla Broadley, Dean of Curry College of Computer Sciences, to come forward.
Will the candidates for the master's degree in the Corey College of Computer Sciences please stand? Mr. President, I am pleased to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Master of Science or Master of Science with specification. Corey Master's students here and across our network, I'm so proud of you. And to our aligners, thank you for trusting us and for your courage in making the leap into computer science.
I would like to invite Hazel Siv, Dean of the College of Science, to come forward.
Will the candidates for the master's degree in the College of Science please rise? Mr. President, I am delighted and honored to present the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Master of Science or Master of Science with specification. I would also like to acknowledge the College of Science PhD candidates previously presented by the Vice Provost. Warmest congratulations to you all.
I would like to invite Uta Poiger, Dean of the College of Social Sciences and Humanities, to come forward.
Will the candidates for the degree of Masters in the College of Social Sciences and Humanities please rise? We are very proud of you, candidates. Mr. President, it's my great honor to present to you the candidates who have qualified in all respects for the degree of Master of Arts, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Policy, and Master of Science. Congratulations to you all, class of 2021.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of this university, I confer upon you and all those who have properly qualified the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Master of Arts, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Policy, Master of Science, or Master of Science with specification, according to the department in which you have qualified, with all of the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Graduates, I salute you. Congratulations. You are officially now graduates of this university.
Will all graduates please be seated? The pandemic has reaffirmed both the importance of science and the necessity of coordinated public health measures. In the US, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention represents the nexus of these two things. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce the CDC's new director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. Dr. Walensky plays a leading role in managing the federal government's efforts to control the COVID-19 pandemic, including overseeing the nation's massive vaccination program. Previously, she served as chief of the Division of Infectious Diseases at Massachusetts General Hospital and professor of medicine at Harvard Medical School. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rochelle Walensky.
Congratulations to you, the 2021 graduating class of Northeastern University. Pause, look around at this stadium, and celebrate this moment. While magnificent, I am certain it is not what you envisioned when you started on this experience. This is a pivotal moment for each of you, strengthened by your failures, defined by your successes, and enriched by everything you have learned and every way you have grown these past years. As you look around at your friends and colleagues in your caps and gowns, know that you are looking at the future. You are a group who will go anywhere and do anything and will be forever bound by the Northeastern connection. Today is the beginning of your journey. As you graduate today and head off into the world, I am here to urge all of you to embrace the journey that is in front of you. The destination for each of you may be quite different, but you now have the knowledge, skills, inner strength, and resilience to make the voyage ahead. I am honored to serve as the 19th director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the nation's public health protection agency at such a critical time. When I was in your shoes, I can promise I would have never expected to be here. But you become who you are because of pivotal moments in your education and your training. I have had a number of such central moments that have shaped my career. First, my medical training in the 1990s at an inner-city hospital full of patients dying of AIDS. No treatment yet available and hope running thin for doctors and patients alike. I never thought I would be an infectious disease physician, but these disease and these patients, their clinical and personal stories captured me. Next, my time learning the study and practice of public health, acknowledging the important work that can be done at the intersection of social justice, equity, and health. And most recently, COVID-19, a global public health crisis that has impacted us all. I want to use the time I have with you today to humbly share with you some lessons I have learned from these moments in my career and hope they will help you along your path, no matter where it will take you. First, connect with the work in front of you. If you find yourself intrigued, ask more questions. If you find yourself motivated, push harder. If you discover something unexpected, consider following further down the path. It is your turn to move the world in new directions, discover new heights, and drive innovation. Second, remember to think of everyone. No matter what you do, be inclusive in your work. Provide for those who rarely receive the support they need and care for your community. We are all aware of the systemic inequities that have led to unacceptable disparities in our society. We can no longer just document this problem. Our job together is to fix it. And to do so, we have to be willing to be open, to learn, and to listen to others' lived experiences and their perspective because of them. You can be the change agents we need. You can make a difference, one person at a time, one act at a time. Third, ask the big questions, the ones that move your field, the questions that challenge the norm and that have the greatest impact. The answers are often slow to come and the path frustrating. Try to be undeterred by the failures. Instead, love the pursuit. It is the pursuit of those answers that is your mission. And as your resume grows with a list of your successes, remember that it is in your failures that you will grow the most. Fourth, travel this path with colleagues who become friends. Surround yourself by those who are smarter than you, complementary and yet different in your skill sets, and let yourself strive bigger because they are, letting go of your pride and competition. Travel together in the spirit of discovery. And finally, aim big. As you take every next step, every next job, every next endeavor, remember, you should be nervous. If you are not thinking even just for a minute that you might be biting off a bit too much, you are not aiming big enough. And I remind myself of this every single day. I have a plaque on my desk among the very few things that traveled with me from my Mass General office. It sits there in Atlanta at CDC, and it says, "Hard things are hard." It was given to me by a dear colleague who is now a dear friend, who helped me through some hard times. It's true. The challenges we face are often hard, but we can do hard things. You can do hard things. Your journey and your story are, in many ways, just beginning. It's your commencement. As you look ahead of you, remember that it is okay if the view is obscured in the mist. What matters is that you keep moving down the path, enjoying the view, even if it is currently hazy. I wish you all the greatest success on your path, and I have so much confidence that you are up to the challenges ahead. Thank you for all you will do, and all you will achieve, and all the ways you will work to make this world better for everyone in it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Walensky. I'm Diane Nishigaya McIlvray, Senior Vice President for University Advancement, and I want to add my congratulations to each and every one of you for all that you have accomplished. It is an absolute honor to be with you today. Our alumni represent the intergenerational promise of Northeastern University, and you are the role models for all who will follow in your footsteps. Therefore, I have the great pleasure of introducing a very special member of our Northeastern family. Nicole Bork is a double Husky, having earned degrees in 2015 and 2017. She's also a member of our Young Alumni Advisory Board. Nicole?
Graduates, we salute your temerity, your drive, and your resilience during a year like no other. You have persisted through unthinkable challenges, and you've made it through to earn your degree and join our robust, diverse, and vibrant Northeastern alumni community. As our next generation of trailblazing pioneers, you will change the way we think, communicate, and experience the world around us. Your potential is virtually limitless, and your ambition unrelenting. Not only are you accomplished and gifted members of the class of 2021, you are part of a thriving Northeastern network that is making an impact around the globe. As you know, Northeastern's alumni network spans many generations and geographies, cultures, and careers, with alumni, parents, and students living in more than 190 countries. You're empowered to both build connections and play an active role in enhancing the Northeastern network worldwide. Please direct your attention to the video screens for a special welcome from alumni representing just a few of our communities around the globe.
Dear graduates, you are bold, you are resilient.
أنتم مرنون أنتم صناع التغيير.
आज इस खुशी के दिन पर मेरी तरफ से आप सबको बहुत बहुत बधाइयाँ.
A la fecha han logrado tanto y su futuro presenta oportunidades infinitas.
Welke weg je ook inslaat, onthoud dat jullie connectie met Northeastern levenslang is.
כי לכל פעם בחייכם יש הסקי קרוב, יש הסקי בסביבכם.
在这次途中，别忘了母校将是你们最强的后盾。今天，你们加入了东北大学在全球27万的校友大家庭。
Báoni, é caro, é caso, é kale, é couché.
Bundan sonraki yolculuğunuzun bir parçası olmaktan gurur duyuyoruz.
Félicitations et bienvenue.
And congratulations.
Félicitations.
عقبال مزال طب.
مبروك ومرحبا بكم class of 2021.
The Office of Alumni Relations will keep connections strong with your lifelong Northeastern community. Use it to continue learning, access career strategies, engage with thought leaders and idea generators, and find the resources to achieve what's next. And now, to recognize the tradition of the Northeastern Alumni Pin. For those wearing your red alumni pin, think of this each time you see it. This pin symbolizes your determination, resilience, and success, as well as your inclusion in a new Northeastern experience as alumni. I am thrilled to welcome you into the Northeastern Alumni Network and eagerly anticipate watching your stories unfold. Congratulations, class of 2021.
Thank you, Nicole. We now invite the audience to stand and join Marcia Tucker in singing the Alma Mater, accompanied by majestic brass. Words and music are displayed on the video screens. Please stand.
Thank you.
Please remain standing. I'm going to give you a very short charge, and then afterwards we have a special treat for you, a grand finale. Class of 2021, this is your time, your moment, your opportunity. Your charge is to take your Northeastern experience and apply it to your passions, wherever your passions lie, in science and discovery, caregiving and healing, uncovering the truth, creating art that inspires. And I urge you not to pursue these passions alone. What we have learned this year, especially, is how the Northeastern community supports and uplifts us all. Remember that you will always be part of this community. Wherever your journey takes you, Northeastern is your lifelong home. Go forth, create, innovate, make change, and always keep the music of Northeastern in your hearts. Graduates, I salute you. Congratulations, one more time. Now, our team here, our colleagues are multi-talented. The Dean of the Damore School of Music, Damore McKim School of Music, Raja Chemandi, has been helping and tutoring my other colleagues into some Bollywood moves. So I'm going to ask them to come to the front of the stage. Come on, don't be shy. Okay. Come close, yeah, come forward. Come forward. That's the grand finale. It's the last commencement exercise, and it is for you. When it comes to making music, I could spend all day trying to describe what that jazz band in that backyard sounded like. But like everything else, it's better if you experience it yourself. So here they are, Ziki Martin, the Oracle, and my colleagues.
A big round of applause for the deans. Ladies and gentlemen, and newest alumni, would you please be seated and remain seated for the recession of the President's Party.